Hello, and welcome to Behind the Bands, a show where we get a little bit more of a behind-the-scenes look of local performers and musicians from Joplin, Missouri.
We're your hosts, Savvy Ray.
And I'm Colin Lowry.
And today we're going to get behind Sean Odell, or Surf Sean, a local performer from Carthage, Missouri. We're going to start off today by listening to one of his original songs, Outer Space Ocean. Please welcome Sean Odell.
There's a ghost in the attic, I'm asleep in my car. The danger near you couldn't get too far. If I wake up, I won't lose my head. You feel nothing as if you were dead. Ride the crest of life's many waves in the outer space ocean. Reborn just to die today in the outer space ocean. There's a ghost in the attic, I'm asleep in my car. The danger near you couldn't get too far. If I wake up, I won't lose my head. You feel nothing as if you were dead. Ride the crest of life's many waves in the outer space ocean. Reborn just to die today in the outer space ocean. Shoop, shoop, shooby, shooby doo wow. Shoop, shoop, shooby, shooby doo wow. And can I do this right? And try my best this time. Ride the crest of life's many waves in the outer space ocean. Reborn just to die today in the outer space ocean. Ride the crest of life's many waves in the outer space ocean. Reborn just to die today in the outer space ocean. All right, thank you.
We have Sean in the studio today to tell us a little bit more about it. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, not a problem at all. Now, can you give us a little bit of history of you playing in Joplin?
Well, let's see. I started playing at this venue called The Foundry. I was in this band called Sky Dementia when I was about 13 or 14. And the guitarist, his name, I forget his name, it was so long ago, but he had connections to someone and was able to get us a show at this event that The Foundry had called The Riot. So we practiced, pretty well every day after school, for about a week, against our parents' best wishes, And so we played the show around, a couple hundred kids, and it was just such an amazing feeling that, it was just something that I always wanted to keep pursuing. I was at such a young age whenever I had that experience that it was just something that I feel like almost helped shape my identity. So from starting there to just playing in a few different bands, that's kind of where it all started in Joplin.
Do you play in any other venues around here? Like, have you since then?
Oh yeah, I've played at Solace Music Venue a lot. I have played at Blackthorn, the pizza pub on Main Street, and Old Broadway Club as well. I've played quite a few local bars around here. But really, like I remember, like after Solace kind of dissolved, there was really not a huge option for local artists to, especially like underage artists, to perform, which I thought was kind of a shame, really, because at this point, it seems like a lot of the places that are open now are just, bars, and you have to be, at least 18 to even go in, so.
Now, what's been the process like for you finding these places to play at? Like, how does it look like for you to go out and play? Are you finding them?
Yeah, well, sometimes it can go both ways. Like, we might play at one venue, and another will hear about it, and they'll reach out to us. But there have also just been instances where we just want to try to book as many shows as we can, you know. And in all my band's history, that's just how it's been. We'll go usually talk directly to like an owner or, you know, someone that's high up in management, and just kind of get our foot in the door, you know. I feel like it's pretty much like anything else. You just kind of you just got to talk to people, you know. That's really all it is.
Absolutely, networking helps.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, networking.
So do you like performing live more, or like producing in the studio, or?
I would definitely say I enjoy being at home producing. You know, I've flown on planes before. I'm not one of those guys. I don't like flying on planes. I'm not a big traveler. I mean, I enjoy it when I do, but I definitely prefer just being at home. And I feel at home, I'm able to access my full potential of creativity.
You're
you know?
setting the tone right there.
Yeah, you know, at some point I would like to perform again, but right now I feel like I'm in a place in life where I'm just supposed to create a lot. And that's really where it's been at right now. But I definitely, at this point in my life, prefer being at home producing. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Are you hoping or wanting to make this like a full-time eventually, or just a hobby right now?
Well, I don't want to take myself too seriously with it. I've always thought that about it. But it's such a deep passion of mine that I've even told myself before, like, I'm just gonna quit, I'm just gonna stop trying. And I've said that a million times, and I always come back to it. So I've come to a point in my life now where I just want to go all the way and shoot my shot. And I've really come to a place now where I feel like I have the abilities and the tools necessary to really just go all the way with it this time. And really without any expectations, you know, because it's a crazy business to be in. There was a group I was in where I actually had produced a physical record. They had a record made for us. It was pink vinyl for this record called Pink. And, you know, even having things like that, like just being able to break barriers, it's difficult. So for me, I see it more as a hobby in a lot of ways, but at the same time, like, I definitely don't believe in, you know, going halfway with it. I'd rather go all the way with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When you're writing your music, what comes first? Is it the lyrics, or is it more of you're sitting down finding the melody and rhythm?
Definitely the melody and the rhythm. That's where it always starts. I feel like any kind of writing, whenever I feel inspired at all, which is usually every day or every other day, it's like I'll go to the piano and I'll just riff. There's usually, sometimes there's something repeating in my head just over and over. It's like, okay, let's find those notes. I'll find those notes and just play around with that. And okay, we'll go to this part. We'll go, you know, you just experiment. You play around with the forms of what you were hearing in your head, and you see if maybe, you know, can I make some connections here? And I started out as a drummer before I ever became a piano player. So, yeah, it really, like, I feel like feeling that bass line for me first, that's where it all begins, is the bass, you know? I hear out a bass line and a bass melody, and that's just where the song starts. And usually afterwards, lyrics will come, you know, after the track is finished, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
For the song Outer Space Ocean, is there a story behind it or anything?
Really, that was another song that I wrote, and I wrote it in about 30 minutes. It just kind of came to me, and even the lyrics, it was just kind of like I was recording as I was writing the lyrics. I did not write the lyrics down. I was just streaming directly, you know, from my subconscious, whatever you might want to call it. It's like just like a summary of a bunch of different thoughts and ideas all at once, it seems, you know. Ride the crest of life's many waves in the outer space ocean. It's just like when you take your perspective in your body and you zoom out and you really just kind of look at the whole picture, you know. I feel like in my daily life, I get to points where I feel that way when I'm thinking about things. So I think it just kind of came from that.
Well, I can tell by
Yeah.
the way you talk about it. You can tell there's a lot of passion and, you know, sentimental value
Right,
behind
yeah.
all that.
Right, yeah.
Well, we'll talk to Sean more in a minute. First, let's hear another one of his original songs, Strange Today.
You let it happen again. I help you put it together. You pull the pieces apart. I let it go to my head. You may swallow your pride. I take a look inside. You're never ready to let me go, so I'll stay home, stay home. Everyone is so strange today. Is it just me? Is it just me? Walking, talking paradox, run my soul around the clock, alone, all alone. You may swallow your pride. I take a look inside. You're never ready to let me go, so I'll stay home, stay home. Everyone is so strange today. Is it just me? Is it just me? Walking, talking paradox, run my soul around the clock, alone, all alone. Oh, 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 oh. Everyone is so strange today. Is it just me? Is it just me? Walking, talking paradox, run my soul around the clock, alone, all alone. Thank you.
And that was Strange Today, and we are back now to talk more about his musical processes. Welcome back, Sean.
Thank you.
And now, can you tell me a little bit more about that song, the writing or the meaning of it?
Strange Today. Well, I was in a place in my life where I just really didn't know what to do. I was in a job where my back was against the wall. I was getting really shorted on my pay, but like I felt like I had nowhere to turn, you know. I was working, you know, overtime hours, and I was wanting to save money at that time, so I just felt like I couldn't really leave. And, you know, I didn't, when I got off work, you know, I'd been so tired that, like, I didn't feel like I had the energy to even, to use, you know, to find another job. And really part of that probably went to writing this song, you know. So I ended up finding another job, long story short. We'll say that. But so long story short, my back was against the wall. And I just felt just so out of place in my own life, in my own world, you know. It's like you spend so much time perfecting things that you know might go on in your world, you know, outside of the random happenings, and it's like things can change. And so I felt out of place, and that song's just really about feeling out of place, you know. And when you feel that way, the entire world seems like alien to you. Mm-hmm. So
well, I can tell you
yeah.
that, and that song is going to reach out to a lot of people.
Yeah, I just really felt that at the time.
What would you say is your favorite song that you've written?
Oh, that's a tough one. I really like Strange Today. As of right now, I mean, I might change that answer in a week or two, but I love that song right now. I think it's still, I still feel it, and I think I just have a lot of faith in it. I like the chords in it, you know. I think it has a cool structure.
Now, have you had any songs that have had an unexpected reaction from the audience? Something that you think you were going to get this reaction, but then lo and behold, it was just the complete opposite.
Yeah. Oh man. Well.
And now this could have been in any bands that you could have been in before.
Right. Yeah. I remember performing live at Blackthorn, and this was a night that Blackthorn was hosting called Emo Night. So we were celebrating, you know, old school emo rock, you know, which is fantastic. You know, I grew up in that time. I love it. Love all that music and the style. And, you know, I was wearing eyeliner that night. And Well, so we had played a show in the back, and you know, we were kind of more of a surf rock kind of group too, so it didn't really too much fit the vibe. So people were thrown off by that. Well, halfway through the set, I snap a stick in half, and I just have to finish off the whole song with that. And I see a couple of my friends point, and they're just like, "Hey, you need a stick?" So one of my friends runs up on the stage and hands me one of his sticks. He's a fellow drummer of mine, Chris Cupp. He's fantastic, but he just runs up and just little reactions like that from the audience.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I can never say anything like crazy unexpected. Like I might have had sticks break, you know, or, you know, but really my solo stuff is just now like beginning for me in a lot of ways. So I haven't really had any unexpected reactions from that yet.
With your solo stuff, is there like any directions you're hoping to go with it in the future?
Yeah, I really would like to eventually do a completely analog album, like just work with real musicians, because I spend a lot of time going through synthesizers. And for example, like I'll hear a guitar in my head and it's like, I really want that on this song. You know, I hear it there, it's supposed to be there. I don't have a guitar. I can't play the guitar. So, you know, I usually will try to compensate somehow. But my hope is just to work with some more musicians and just to get like, you know, direction-wise, I just want it to be honest. You know, I just want it to be pure and in the moment, and that can always change. You know, I might say one thing today, and the next day it might be the complete opposite. You know, but it's always evolving. But the people I'm working with, I feel like will have a little bit of an influence as well. So I'm just excited to work with more people that play real instruments, and you know, like I said, I compose like vocal harmonies and things like that. So having more people that can sing, that sounds fantastic. So anything along those lines would be great.
And now, next up, we'll be playing Signature Flower. Can you tell us anything about that song?
Signature Flower, oh man. So that one was about a girl that I was in love with, like, I want to say my junior year of high school. I mean, this is over 10 years ago, but I just was head over heels for her, and we had spent a lot of time together before I knew that she was going to move away. And so she moved away, and it really broke my heart, you know? And this was my junior or senior year, so, you know, a couple years down the line, I still felt heartbroken about it, you know? I really did. And this was right around the time where I really was just kind of fed up with working with other bands and with, you know, as a group at that time. And so I was really starting with my solo stuff. And that was the first song I wrote. It was the first song I ever wrote, and I thought it was fantastic, you know. Just the way it came together, too, is almost, it's almost like I didn't even write it, you know. It just all comes together.
No, it flowed right out.
Of you. Yeah, it just comes out of you, you know. So that was a real fun, and it stuck with me. I've tried to never forget it, you know.
And you heard it from Sean. Here is Signature Flower, and we'll be back in a minute.
She left my house with memories of a siren's soft kiss. I tried to remember, but choose to forget. Without her, I'll be absolutely missing her touch, missing her lips, pulling her hair and holding her hips. So why does she have to go? It never matters where you start. Your signature flower is in my heart today, and that will stay. She left my house with memories of a siren's soft kiss. I tried to remember, but choose to forget. Without her, I'll be absolutely. start. Your signature flower is in my heart today, and that will stay. It never matters where you start. Your signature flower is in my heart today, and that will stay. Thank you.
That was Signature Flower. We're back here with Sean. What's it like playing in Joplin versus like other places?
Oh, Joplin, I love it. Some people would say that they don't like it, but to me, it's home. So I always love playing in Joplin. I don't feel like I'm under pressure whenever I play in Joplin, and I think that's just part of the home factor. I know everyone here. I know who I'm going to be playing for. We play for quite a few people, but compared to other places, there's just a little bit of uncomfortability as with anything new and in a new atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely.
So that kind of goes back to the question of I prefer to produce at home, but at the same time, like I see like almost a necessity to go out and play and to meet people and network, because half of it is all marketing anyway. It really is, just putting yourself out there and talking to people.
Perfect. And going out and doing that, it really can open doors that you
Yeah.
did not see before.
Right.
Because all it takes is one person to see a show or a song that you perform that, it just clicks with them,
Right.
or something that they resonate with.
Right.
And then that you just establish that connection right there.
Right, and part of that is traveling around.
Absolutely.
It really is, and you can get a little uncomfortable, but just kind of accepting that and just pushing on anyway. You just keep going.
Now, where can viewers find some more of your music?
You can find me on all the major streamers. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Spotify, of course. Pretty much anywhere you look. If you just type in Surf Sean, I'll be there. I have quite a few singles out, and I actually have a full album out called Cat Meows, and it's like a compilation of about 6 months of my life. So I think it's about an 11-track album. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What social medias are you on so that people can help support you?
Right. So I have an Instagram and a TikTok, and it is at Surf Sean for both of them. Right. And I also have a Facebook as well. That one's a little more under construction, but I have that as well. It's also under Surf Sean. So.
Now, have you had a pretty good following coming through social media?
Not really, honestly, no, not yet. But I haven't really pushed for it yet, just because I feel like I'm still in that place where I just want to create right now and meet more musicians, rather than really trying to push for an audience. I feel like if I keep creating, I'll have enough under my belt to work with,
Oh, and you can't rush greatness, man.
Right,
And if that's
yeah.
how you feel with music and you being, your own writer, I definitely feel like you're setting the tone.
Right.
By doing that.
There is something that I even would like to point out about, like I said before, with wanting to make a career out of music, you have to be a marketer as well, right? So there's a lot of, I don't even know if you'd call them companies. There are a lot of people out there, and I mean like hundreds of them, that will shoot me messages, and it's the way it is now. It's like, okay, you send me a couple $100 and I'll promote you on my social media. And, it's like, I want to go a more natural route with a following. And, I don't want to count it out and say that it's a bad idea, because I really don't know enough as much about it. But to me, it's like, I feel like there's just a better way.
No, but the natural way.
Right, there's a more natural way than just like, oh, here's a couple $1,000. Like, oh, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah,
Then there's
exactly.
$1,000,
Exactly.
Is there anything you want to say to the audience before you leave?
I just wanted to thank you guys for listening and tuning in, and I hope you like the music.
This has been a look at Behind the Bands with Sean O'Dell, and we would like to thank you for taking the time of coming out here and talking to us. And we will be back with you guys next week with another performer, a band from Joplin.
And this is his last song called Now.
Now inside yourself. Do you like what you see? I said, do you like what you see? Are you afraid of being alone forever? Can you talk too deep, or should you always ask the questions now? When you're finally grown up, do you waste all your time? Or is there no time to waste? Are you afraid of being alone forever? Forever? Can you talk too deep, or should you always ask the questions? It can be so hard when you think about it all the time. It can be so hard when you think about it all the time. Everyone is so strange today. Is it just me? Is it just me? Walking, talking paradox.